Hello and welcome back. Today I have a very stubborn unsolved crime to report. This is an electricity theft. The abstraction of over £900 of electricity. This is just shy of £1,000 of electricity that was stolen from a friend of mine by a neighbour. And to be clear, this is certainly not a case of somebody just rigging their meter to steal electricity from a big corporation. This is somebody who's found a mains wire in their cavity wall or under a floorboard that belongs to a neighbour, and they've decided to tap into it and literally just rip out £1,000 of electricity over the space of 6 months. Which, as I say, was first detected around the end of 2019. And I started gathering evidence of this. I think it was February 2020 that we finally managed to disconnect the cable that was in question, that had been tapped into, and reinstate it with a new one. And it was finally reported to our local police here, Dorset Police, in April 2020. Since then, I just got a reply from the police saying they did not have the authority to enter any flats and interrogate this crime and find out who and how they tapped into the wire, or had tapped into the wire. So that left me really pretty much on my own to try and solve this crime. And since then, yes, there has not been a lot of progress. So I am putting this video out there, as I say, just as an appeal really, to see if there is anybody out there who can shed some light on this crime and help us solve it. Because if you can, we will be extremely grateful. So here we have our best vantage point for investigating this electricity theft down the side of the house here, where we can initially find the electricity cupboard here. This is the cupboard that contains 4 meters for the 4 flats in the house, which is of course supplied by mains power from outside. Now it's the connection between these meters and the fuse boxes in the side of the flats that gave the opportunity for this theft to occur, in terms of long stretches of mains wire from the meter cupboard to the fuse box in the flat. So here's the victim here, flat C, the victim of the theft. The fuse box is just inside the wall here, and therefore my best guess for the original route of the old mains wire is from the meter here in the meter cupboard, down along the wall here, up here, and in through a hole here. Well, this is of course, inside the cavity wall. The whole point here is this is still hidden. The wire is still there. It's just been disconnected. All we're trying to do is find out where it runs. As I say, it's still there. No one's removed it physically or anything like that. We're just trying to find out where it runs. And the new mains wire is the blue dotted line that you see here. This is the reinstatement of a new wire to supply electricity to the fuse box here, that is in a visible location that we can keep an eye on in terms of somebody tapping into it in future. Now, it's worth bearing in mind, yes, that the yellow line here is just an indication of where the boundaries of the flats start and finish, which also, lends us insight into possible suspects for stealing the electricity. And it's the fact that the most likely route of the old cable, which is down this path here, that makes me wonder that flat B is the number one suspect. Quite simply because the old mains wire most likely runs adjacent to their flat, and therefore could be accessed through their cavity wall or something like that. But that does not rule out the possibility that I'm wrong, and this mains wire, as I say, may take a different route. It may have gone up here where we've reinstated the new one. It may have gone down here over the window. It may have gone any number of ways. But this is partly why I'm making this video, to find out if there is anybody out there, whether they be a qualified electrician or some kind of detective, who has some experience of this problem, or some knowledge or skill set to interrogate this kind of crime and find out who exactly did it, how they did it, and what they were using the electricity for. And just have a quick look at more evidence here. Just before I leave this page, I'd just like to point out there is a door here and a stairwell leading up to two front doors. This is of flat A and flat C. So this area is just a stairwell, and therefore must be circumvented, I presume, in terms of actually, supplying power to the flats and working around it. So let's just have a look here. Yes, this is the new mains wire reinstated on the outside of the building, so we can see if anyone's tapping into it or any foul play happening. Timeline of Gordon Road electricity theft, £900 of electricity stolen in space of 6 months. It's July 2019 to January 2020. Before and after changing mains wire to one more visible, literally sky-high ceiling readings for 6 months. Flat out sky-high readings for 6 months while the tenant was out, while the chap was literally out at work with everything switched off in the flat, which is absolutely outrageous and suspicious beyond belief. And of course, as soon as we change the wire to one more visible, boom, suddenly drops right down from 461 watts per hour to 98 watts per hour. And yeah, obviously couldn't be clearer that there's something extremely suspicious happening here. Have a look, and yeah, we can see here this is original exit port top right of electricity cupboard. Cable suspected of wiretap. This is the old cable, literally it's still sitting there now, and is, yes, the wire under suspicion of being tapped into. You can just see the new one we've reinstated there. We can see it more clearly in this photograph here. This is the one we ripped out, still sitting there in the cupboard, still sitting there in the cavity wall. No one's removed it, as I say. And this is the new one that we've reinstated in a more visible location. Here we can see the old mains wire that was tapped into by the thief, which has been disconnected and replaced with the new one here that runs in a visible location up the wall, where we can keep an eye on it to see no one's actually tapping into it, as opposed to the old one, which was in an invisible location, disappeared somewhere inside the wall cavity to go God knows where, either following the same route as the new one we've put in inside the wall somewhere, or going along that way to meet or to go into the flat this way to the meter inside the flat. So yeah, that's the situation there. And of course, yes, the new one has been placed in a visible location, so we can keep a constant eye on it to make sure no one repeats the same crime of tapping into it and stealing vast amounts of electricity.